white shirt, a suit, a gown and a white bow tie.
I think a lot of the figures the government has been coming out with in terms of household income being affected are quite stark. And I think a lot of the arguments the Brexit campaign have been coming up with, especially people like Boris Johnson, just don't really hold water. I don't think they're intellectually credible arguments. They seem to be promising some sort of utopia outside the EU, which I don't think is really a possibility. So there are risks. I think there are risks to staying in and leaving, and we shouldn't trivialise the issue by making it black and white, or by making stupid claims about on either side, really.
I definitely think that we should be staying in the EU. I think that the Leave campaign is centred around an outdated view of what the nation state should be. I think it's harking back to an idea of territorial integrity and sovereignty that was more appropriate in the 20th century. Around the world, you're seeing trends to increase regional organisation, whether that's security, economics, whatever. I think stepping back from the EU is going against that increasingly globalised current, and I don't really see that doing so would be a sound decision for Britain, particularly if we want to, lay claim to some inflated position in the world. I don't think this is the correct move for us to leave.
I can recognise that the European Union is really quite anti-democratic, but I can recognise at the same time that perhaps there's an economic necessity in staying in the European Union, and I don't think a lot of the problems I have with the European Union, such as TTIP, for instance, will necessarily be resolved by leaving the European Union. I think that, Conservative government, someone like David Cameron, would just sign us up to a similar sort of agreement, and TTIP is one of the main problems that I have with what the European Union is doing at the moment, so I don't think necessarily those problems will be resolved by Brexit.
Mir macht es grundsätzlich Angst, das Gefühl, nicht zu wissen, ob man in diesem Land noch willkommen ist nach dem 23. Juni. Wir wissen nicht, wie es für Studenten weitergeht, ob wir Visa beantragen müssen. All diese Dinge beschäftigen mich natürlich sehr.